We dedicate this one to the hip hop.
Classic.
Hot, sicker than your
Classic. Classic. Classic.
sicker than your
Classic.
sicker than your average. Hot, sicker than your average. Pop a twist cabbage off instinct.
Chapter 26.
You are now listening to the Chapter of the Architect podcast with DJ Architect and Vicky Vic.
The big Kenny Ken Parks in the place to be today.
Baby.
What's with us. Hey Ken, real quick, man. Or you know, all three of us obviously get into the conversation. So let's pretty much speak about the history of how you and I met, and then in turn how I ended up meeting Vic throughout, me knowing you. So you and I, we worked together before in the past. What? How many years ago do you think?
So I got hired with Lockheed Martin in March 2009, and then that's around the time I met you, because that's the time around the time I went to Fallbrook. Right. And then from there, I don't know, we clicked because we have the same mentality. Style.
You guys play video games every night? Is that why?
Well, no. We haven't even gotten into that yet. But he's a prior Marine. I'm a prior Marine, and I don't know, man. Maybe strict. I don't want to say strict character, but same, thought process. I think you and I, we hit it off pretty early. We got along at work.
Yeah.
And then,
I think because we're both like prior gangsters too and stuff. So.
That's a possibility. So then I was DJing at the time, and then you asked me to DJ your wedding.
Right.
Which I had a great time, even though I was DJing.
When was that? What year was that?
So that was 2010.
Okay, 7 years ago.
Damn. And then it doesn't even feel like I've been alive that long. But you
have 2 kids now, right?
Yeah.
2 little boys.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing, man, because I still remember that night like it was yesterday.
It was a big night.
Yeah, man. Hey, but we had a great time, and then ended up meeting Vic there, and I was like, "Hey, Vic, you wanna be an MC?" And he got on the mic. You did your thing, Vic.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever done it. I remember it was just Kenny just asked me, "Hey, do you want to be an MC?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?
Because you were doing beats
rap
at the time."
Yeah, because I've been making beats since high school. You rapped on a couple of them, I think, even at the assemblies and
pep
stuff.
rallies and
yeah,
stuff.
the pep rallies. Oh my gosh, bro!
I wish they were
used to
recorded.
rap at pit rallies.
Dude,
and I was
straight up perform.
Dude, I was pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, dude, he was dope.
Yeah.
He was dope.
So shortly after your wedding, which I had a great time at, by the way, man, beautiful wedding.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was fun.
It was off the hook, man.
Yeah. All the good friends came and stuff. That was a good time.
Man. So my homeboy Jerry was having a baby, so he wasn't going to be able to help me with the DJ gigs anymore. Mm-hmm. So I asked Vic. I said, "Hey, Vic, man, you want to be my road dog, roadie? You want to be an MC? I'll pay you extra money when you got an MC."
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're welcome.
I ended up, I was seeing Carlos way more than I see Kenny.
Yeah.
Like,
it's funny because we were just talking about you as we were setting up. He goes, "Yeah, man, I hang out with you more than I even see Kenny." And then I'm like, "Well, you're gonna see him today." Well, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't tell Vicky Vic that Kenny was gonna be the special guest. And Vic's like, "Hey, who's the guest today?" And I was like, "His name is Joey, and he's a comedian. And how do you know him?" "Well, it's a mutual friendship. Don't worry about it. He's good people,
I'm all trying to make sure the desk is nice and straight. Oh my gosh, I want to look professional for him.
And then he finds out it's me, and he's like, I don't have to do shit.
What are you doing here?
He's funny looking. He's not funny. He's funny looking.
So, Kenny, you started doing comedy. Stand up, right?
Yeah, I started I think my first one was like 2011, early 2011. I didn't record it and stuff. I didn't have a good camera at the time. I was kind of I don't know. I didn't want a new phone or anything like that. Right. So I didn't have good recording or good audio or anything like that. But then I started then I got newer phone. Then I kept doing it, and then I was like, I need to see myself.
Let's rewind that real quick. Hey, Vic, can you do me a favor? Can you take that plastic filter out of that? Because that sucker is smoking. You see it? That red filter. Take.
No, it was my vape.
Oh, okay. I'm like, man, you about to burn the studio down, dog. Hey, man, I don't know if you see it, Ken, but hey, listen.
He is on top of it.
I seen smoke coming from that circuit. I was like, oh no, man, my wife's gonna kill me. Like, what are you doing? But let's rewind real quick.
He went protector mode.
I got you for real.
Yeah, I saw smoke and I'm like, what the hell's going on? But let's rewind real quick. I want to know of the thought process of you as a human being saying, you know what? I want to do comedy.
Okay, so let's see. I was 12, I think. My first real viewing of a stand-up comedy was Eddie Murphy Delirious.
I love that.
I was like 12.
I love that.
One of the best stand-up comedies ever, and
that's where he's wearing the purple,
the red
leather suit.
Purple is raw.
Well, raw.
Red is Delirious. Yeah.
Okay.
And since then, I just remember laughing so hard at the ice cream man joke and just the little kids dancing and he's singing and just being silly and stuff.
Right.
And I was on the floor just dying. I peed and pooed and just couldn't contain myself. As I grew older, I don't know, every time like I would go out, I'm that guy that
makes people laugh.
Yeah.
And the guy who's willing to go the extra length for that laugh though.
Right.
That's one thing that I noticed about there's kind of those limit lines are kind of blurred. Yeah.
He knows. He's like, I don't know anybody else that would say that shit. That's like borderline racist, bigoted. But it's done with no malice. You're trying to get a laugh out of people. Of course. Yeah. And I mean, it's so when you go out and you enjoy yourselves and you're with friends and I'm just the guy that's saying the things where everyone there is like, oh my God. Man. Oh my God. And just,
you're that guy. And you're that guy that makes people feel uncomfortable. Like,
yes. They're like trying not to laugh and they're like, oh, people are looking at us.
I brought my girl tonight. Why did he say
Ooh, could I share a little story? Okay, so I was in the Marine Corps. We a bunch of us, we got together. We were like, let's go out. Let's have a good time. Because we worked Monday through Friday. It was during build-up. To start the training and stuff. Right. So, you're working till 8 probably.
So the buildup is when you're getting ready to go to theater, meaning the sandbox, meaning Iraq. So you got to work the unit works all hours of the night to get prepped to go out to theater, which is, Iraq or Afghanistan.
That's called the buildup?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that you said that. I would have had no clue what that meant, dude.
All right. And so every chance that you get to go out and do something, I probably should have said, hey, I'm going to go home and see my family and shit. But instead I was like, no, we're going out together and we're going to get fucked up and we're going to get in fights and make love to random people or something.
Oh, snap.
So
is that what you call it, love?
Yeah.
I call it thrashing, but anyways.
So one of the guys wanted to go with his girlfriend. And we're like, just bring her. We're going to have a good time.
Right.
That's what it's
Marines,
about.
Yeah. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Thank you for your tax paying and stuff. So we went to Ruth's Chris.
Love that place. Best steaks in the motherfucking house.
I guess I didn't buy a steak because that shit was expensive as shit.
Yeah, man. My wife and I only go once a year, man.
Yeah.
Probably for our anniversary.
You have to save for that.
Look, bro, that's like a $250 bill at the end of the night, man.
You should open up an account with your bank called Ruth's Chris. So that way
like a Christmas account?
Let it build some interest so by the time you get to the... So the... we were sitting at a round table. Is like 5 Marines and one of the guy's girlfriends.
Right.
And I just remember I said, "Can I get your best wine?" And the lady's like, she pulled out a wine glass and she fills it up. And you know how they fill it up like 35% of the way,
right?
And I was like,
"The hell?
That's it?
Yeah.
No. You can put it to the rim.
Yeah.
Just charge me double. It's fine."
Right.
So she poured it, and I was like, wait. And so I just slammed it down, right?
And asked for
and I put it back, and I was like, could you fill it back up?
Yeah. Smart.
And I was like, that's classy, right?
Right, absolutely.
And then I remember, so I was looking at the menu. I was like, what the fuck am I going to eat? So I found some chicken, $20. And finally, everybody's food comes out. My food comes out. And mine's a chicken with its legs like in the shape of an L, like this.
Really?
Right? Like that. And it's laid down like
it's this. Like flat?
So yeah, it's flat. Yeah. So it's like the legs are open up.
Like butterflied.
Yeah. And so I don't know, man. I picked it up and I pretended like I was eating it out. And I remember there's this lady across the aisle, and she had the white gloves all the way to the elbows. Pretty black dress. She was looking elegant as fuck. Her dude was there, and his dude was just like covering his like we chose the wrong night to come to fucking Ruth's Chris.
Oh my god, like that
or the best night.
Yeah, well, that restaurant is like upscale, man.
It is. Like I don't know why they let us.
My wife and I, we only go there once a year, and it's probably for our anniversary, and we walk away with a $250 less in our pocket because it's yeah, man, it's upscale, and here you are eating out the asshole of a butterfly chicken.
Basically,
that's crazy, man.
So that was a very classy night, and I just remember everybody's laughing. We're fucking dying, like we were all just dying, and so it's stuff like that. But usually now that I'm older, I don't really do things as much. I say things more that are borderline inappropriate, if you want to say that, or I'm just kind of just
being
talking,
you,
just being silly. And
do you feel that? Do you feel alcohol enhances? I don't want to say your performance, but your mind state to make it be your thought process a lot more fluid. Because I notice when I tend to drink, several drinks, I become a lot more relaxed, and I just start saying funny crap, and I'm like, where did that come from?
Well, the first couple times I was on stage, like after, so all that time passed, and I was like, I got to get on stage.
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
So
so what made you say, okay, next week or tomorrow or next month, I'm going to go on stage? You just said, I have to do this.
So what I did, I started writing down bits, and that's usually what they call them.
Yeah,
skits.
Bits.
So,
you have to connect them, right?
Little scenes, basically. Little scenes in a movie. That's your version of a movie. They're like, you're writing a little scene.
They're jokes, but there's a story within that joke. So you
not necessarily. I mean, a joke could be a joke,
right?
Like if you heard of Mitch Hedberg, he was a one-liner, and he had no story.
Right. It's sort of like the guy.
He just goes from joke.
The
to
guy
joke.
from Goodfellas. Yeah. You don't know if you remember Goodfellas.
Artie Lang.
No. Goodfellas. You guys know the mobster movie, right? No, the mobster movie.
Of course. Goodfellas.
Where they're at the night dance club, and there's they call him the king of the one-liners, and he comes up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Take my wife, please. You know what I mean?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Right. I don't know if it was.
I took my wife to a dog show. She would.
Hey, I got a good one. As a matter of fact, you guys remember obviously The Sopranos, right?
Yeah.
You remember Tony Soprano's uncle, the old man. I remember Tony Soprano used to.
There's
call
a lot
him,
of famous people that came out of that show.
Yeah, man. Tony Soprano used to call him Mr. Magoo, because he looked like him. But anyway, so the old man is telling a joke to another person on the show, and he goes, yeah, man, this blind man walks by a fish factory this one day, and he says, hello, ladies. You know what I'm saying? I was cracking up. But so anyways, going back to your story. Right. So you decided to say, hey, I'm gonna get on stage. Mm-hmm. So you started putting these sketches together, right?
Right, exactly. So And so I put these skits together whenever I can. I'll just do like, this is kind of like just note taking. So with this, you don't have to, speak word for word when you're telling a joke. You just need like a word or two to remind you,
to help you remember, almost like a bullet. Like
so every time you say the same joke on stage, it sounds different every time.
You can hear this podcast in its entirety and all other chapters on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. The links to this episode can also be found in the description for your convenience. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.